Hi, and welcome to Positive Psychology. We're going to pick up where we left off. We're looking at the couple relationship and the parent-child. So, couple relationships, most notably marriage, can have a dramatic impact on well-being of individuals with their well-being of the individuals a part of that in that marriage plus their children. Now, it should not be a really big surprise because humans throughout history have paired, grouped, had children. So therefore, the couple relationship really has a very long history. They are arrangements that we all have witnessed, experienced, and are familiar with. In this part of the chapter on positive relationships, we'll consider the value and the benefits of these relationships and what we can do to improve the value and their benefits. So let's get right into it. To begin, couple relationships and well-being. Now, individuals in satisfying couple relationships, especially marriage, but not exclusively, there seems to be an awful lot more evidence that common law share a lot of similarities to marriages, especially, but we're going to talk specifically of marriage, and have better health and well-being and live longer. This certainly suggests that the value and benefits, as we as humans have understood, couples are good for us, or the couple-like relationships. Humans have evolved to find long-term loving relationships very satisfying. These relationships created a context for rearing children to maturity and so ensures the survival of the species. So some of the benefits of marriage. Today, marriage confers a range of benefits on people that may make them happier, such as the social support that occurs, the social roles that we assume, roles of spouse, parent, and the prosperity. If couple relationships are providing some great benefits, how come so many couples divorce? Well, basically there have been many reasons and that have been covered, and just in positive psychology. For example, early childhood attachment issues. Remember, many people are not very self-aware and they may look back to make sense of what they may be able to do to make improvements in their lives. Instead, they may be unaware, then feeling things are just happening to them. They have external locus of control. I don't have any influence. It all happens to me. There is a variability in the course of relationship satisfactory over a lifetime. Jared Anderson found 5 distinct trajectories in a 40-year U.S. longitudinal study on 706 couples. Nearly 2/3 of the participants in their study, groups 4 and 5 in particular, reported high and stable levels of marital happiness over a 40-year period. The remaining third showed a curvilinear pattern of high happiness, decline, and recovery, as an example, group 3, and a pattern of continuous low happiness, group 2, or a pattern of low happiness that subsequently declined, group 1. Now, research has also considered the correlates, things that occur at the time of couple relationships. Now, personality traits associated with relationship satisfaction include emotional stability, extroversion, agreeableness, conscientiousness, secure adult attachment style, empathy, emotional intelligence, and mindfulness. Now, those make sense for success. Relationship factors associated with relationship satisfaction include collaborative and supportive coping with adversity, doing things together, even the negative things. Communication, responsiveness, generosity, gratitude, humor. Engagement in joint leisure activities. Sexual satisfaction. Now, the demographic factors. These are the things that what makes marriages and the people in the marriages, what are their demographic? So the population. So things like education, income, ethnicity, gender, age, and marriage duration are not consistently associated with stable relationship satisfaction. In regard to married couples and romantic partners' sexual satisfaction, researchers also looked at the role of sexual satisfaction in marriage relationships, and it's important to note common law and marriage by research standards are the same. Now, generally, it's been found that the sexual satisfaction is associated with positive emotions, higher self-esteem, positive body image, just to name a few of the results. Now, we should expect that mutual trust, respect, and intimacy would be a benefit to the couple relationship. Now, we can turn to theories of love. Yes, researchers research the theories of what makes love love. Relationships that give a significant level of satisfaction may lead to love. But there are many theories of romantic love, and we're just going to look at a couple. The first we're going to consider is the neurobiological theory of love. Helen Fisher proposed that romantic relationships involve three systems that have evolved because they're adaptive for our species. The first we're going to touch on is the sexual drive system, evolved to motivate people to have sex with a range of potential partners. Now, testosterone levels are associated with the sex drive in both men and women, and the hypothalamus and the amygdala are the two brain structures associated with this drive. The attraction system has evolved to motivate people to focus their attention on preferred partners likely to produce fit offspring or with the resources to support the development of offspring. So attraction and the obsessive focus on the preferred mate are associated with elevated dopamine activity in the reward pathways of the brain. Now, the attachment system, it's evolved to motivate people to sustain their relationships long enough to rear offspring. Attachment and the process of mutual care and companionship are associated with oxytocin activity in the nucleus accumbens and vasopressin activity in the ventral pallidum. These are all parts of the brain, the function parts of the brain. So next we're going to touch on Robert Sternberg's duplex theory of love. Now, Sternberg had done a lot of work in this area. He started with what he labels as the triangular theory of love. Here, each type of love is characterized by passion, commitment, and intimacy. Consummate love, from his theory on that, was the peak, involves high levels of intimacy, passion, and commitment, and is associated with high relationship satisfaction. Sternberg then introduced his next development, love as a story theory. Here he proposed that where partners have similar thematic love stories, their relationship satisfaction is higher. Love is like democracy, in which partners share power equally. Or love is like history, in which couples record or remember a series of important events. Now, the last one we'll look at is John Gottman's groundbreaking research on stability of relationships. And it's been led to his sound relationship house theory. John Gottman proposed sound relationship house theory of romantic love based on factors that distinguish couples who divorce from those who didn't in a longitudinal study of couple relationship stability. Those who stayed together engaged in 5 times more positive exchanges than negative exchanges, actively worked to repair relationship conflicts, began discussions of disagreements with a gentle startup, expressed positive emotions, humor, and affection for their partner during disagreements, used self-regulation strategies to prevent high levels of stress and anger, empathized with their partners and took their views into account when reaching compromises. Except that some conflicts are just unresolvable, and these were fueled by partners' commitment to underlying the highly valued goals. Also included in all this big benefit is the expressed admiration and fondness for each other, responded to each other's bids for emotional connection, saw each other in a positive light, and gave their partner the benefit of the doubt, talked about things that they both valued, and gave meaning to the relationship. It's very comprehensive, and yet there isn't a single element there that you can't imagine being important in a relationship, or you could at least see how that would make a huge difference in any relationship. In Sound Relation and House Theory, Gottman proposed 7 positive strategies for increasing relationship satisfaction based on factors that distinguished couples who divorced from those who didn't in longitudinal studies of couple relationship stability. It's important to note, longitudinal studies mean they're studying people over a long period of time, and that's a different kind of research, but it's also a very good form of research. Build love maps by regularly communicating about significant relationships, people, projects, and events in each other's lives. Share expressions of fondness and admiration regularly so that your partner knows how much you care and respect for them. Turn towards your partner by being attuned to and responsive to their bids for emotional connection. Take a positive perspective, assuming that your partner has your best interests at heart and giving them the benefit of the doubt when conflict arises. Managing conflict by resolving solvable problems and accepting that the long-term relationship there will be some incompatibilities and unresolvable differences. Make life's dreams come true by supporting each other to reach highly valued goals. Create shared meaning by talking about or engaging in activities or rituals that express shared values. Now we can move to the couple relationship interventions. Some of these are in your textbook on box 811, Expressing Fondness and Appreciation, and box 8.12, Conflict Management. Relationship education. Starting in the 1980s, many relationship education programs have been developed and evaluated. They're typically spanning 1 to 6 sessions and include skill training in communication, expression of affection, conflict management, or problem solving. Evaluation of relationship education meta-analysis indicates that relationship education improves communication and relationship satisfaction in middle-class educated couples who are experiencing mild degree of relationship distress. Has a very small effect on couples with low socioeconomic status, lower income, because the economic challenges these couples face prevent them from thriving regardless of their relationship skills. Positive psychology intervention for couples. And there are a few. The research on contemporary positive psychology interventions for couples is relatively new. Results are promising. They include, for example, Shelley Gable's research on active constructive responding, capitalization. We mentioned that in this chapter. Sarah Algo's research on couple expression of gratitude. That was mentioned in chapter 3. And couple interventions involving the use of signature strengths, savoring, flow, and mindfulness, and emotional intelligence. Okay, let's move on to the second relationship that we're going to cover in part 2, and that's the parent-child relationship. For a couple, having a child or children is a social marker. It's a way of acknowledging that you're a couple and you're making a family, and so that's a social marker. A culmination and completion of the family. So that's the whole point. And the responsibility for the care and to raise dependents upon the system, until they launch on their own. So as a family, that's the whole kettle of big thing that we all seem to still desire in this particular cultural experience. Now, in today's society, there are many variations of family. There's different makeups of what makes up a family, different members than what we might normally have experienced as family. The dynamics of the parent-child, irregardless of makeup and members, are similar. And as of more recently being included in the research much better than in the past. As far as children's well-being, individuals who have good relationships with their parents across their lifespan are happier, have better physical and mental health, better peer and romantic relationships, better educational and occupational adjustment. Parents' well-being depends on the balance of the demands of child rearing and the available coping resources. Children enhance parental well-being when they have the time, energy, skill, social support, and financial resources to meet the demands of rearing children, and children fulfill parental needs to procreate, to be connected to extended families and communities, and gives parents' lives meaning and direction. Where the demands children place upon parents outstrip their capacity to cope, then their well-being is diminished. Now, we've talked about parental attachment styles, but in 1967, Diana Bauman identified 3 distinct parenting styles. These are the styles of parenting brought into broad categories. The first that we'll look at is the authoritarian parent. They're demanding and unresponsive to their children's emotional needs. The permissive parents are responsive to their child's emotional needs, though they're not very demanding, and so children don't have guidance. The authoritative parents, in contrast to these 2 non-optimal parenting styles, they combine high levels of both warmth, responsiveness, and demandingness. Authoritative parents are warm towards their children and authoritative in their authoritative parenting style. It includes spending time, in particular quality time, with their children, accommodating to the child's temperament, nurturing and rewarding pro-social behavior when witnessed, while also reducing opportunities for problem behavior, and discouraging it. Using problem-solving and negotiation skills, children of authoritative parents show high levels of well-being, pro-social behavior, self-reliance, self-control, confidence, and achievement motivation. Now, positive psychology and encompassing parenting, parent interventions designed to prevent antisocial behavior are based on authoritative parenting. Parenting and related skills predate the development of contemporary positive psychology. However, Martin Seligman did propose that positive psychology parenting aims to promote flourishing and involves 2 key processes: facilitating children's experiences of positive emotions And secondly, supporting children to identify and use their signature strengths. Parents may promote flourishing by being good role models for skills and practices that research in positive psychology has shown improve well-being. And some of these things include setting and pursuing valued life goals, identify and using signature strengths, developing a positive mindset characterized by gratitude and optimism, incorporating savoring, flow, and mindfulness into daily life, cultivating emotional intelligence, creativity, and wisdom. In addition, cultivating self-esteem and self-efficacy, using adaptive defensive mechanisms and coping strategies, and practicing kindness, compassion, forgiveness, while at the same time developing and enhancing relationships. Well, there's the end of part 2. I hope you see that there are things that we can do as partners to improve our partnership and to ensure we do the best intentional parenting we can to assist our children to live as much of the good life as they can. Next week, the last chapter we're going to be covering will be exploring positive psychology interventions. All right, everybody. Good luck, and we'll see you in the next and the last video. Bye now.